So let me introduce myself. I'm Giovanni Valenti. What I'm asking you today is to really listen with the idea of finding what could be the opportunity for you to make a difference in your life. Maybe you'll find the business you've been looking for all this time. All right, here we are. This is extremely important. Welcome, as I just said. First, let's take a look. We need to understand right now what historical situation we are in. So, we'll use these cash flow quadrants, which were summarized by Robert Kiyosaki, a world-renowned economist. He wanted to condense the entire global economy into 4 simple quadrants. He says this: it doesn't matter where you come from, because we all start from the same place, all from school, and school teaches us to be either employees or self-employed. But on this side, there's 95% of the population, since we all come from there, but only 5% of the world's wealth. I work, I give my time, and in exchange, they give me money, a salary, because I'm trading time for money. So what does the employee do next? They acquire some skills and say, I'll open a VAT number and work for myself. The employee and the self-employed are the quadrants we were taught about in school. Okay, but what is this business owner and investor? What are these other quadrants? Well, we simply call them the quadrants of freedom. Why? Because the business owner is an entrepreneur, but an entrepreneur who has a system. Let me give you an example. McDonald's, Zara. These are examples everyone knows, like franchising. There might be 500 collaborators because, in a way, they've opened their own store. Maybe they're not directly employed by us, but they're connected to our brand. Or it could be a very large company with 500 employees, where there are managers who run things. In other words, whether you're there or not, it works just the same. Now, there's another quadrant, the I, investor. We're no longer the ones working for money, but rather the money we've created, produced, in the sense that we've done some work. Now I put that money to work for me. So today we're not going to talk to you about a company. We're not going to talk to you about a product. We're not going to talk to you about a service. And what I'll do is tell you the story of what we do, but simply to help you understand that we found the bridge between the first 2 quadrants and the second 2, where 5% of the population holds 95% of the wealth. Now, this is extremely important. With whom do we do it? With what do we do it? What is the tool that allows us to move from these quadrants to the others? DBM. It's a company, a joint stock company that was founded on April 14th, 2023. It is regulated by Law 173-2005. So if you're wondering whether everything is above board, whether everything is legal, etc., yes, there is Law 173-2005. It's called the Anti-Pyramid Law, and it's the law that governs this type of activity. We are officially registered in Italy as a joint stock company. Here you can find all the company's details. There's nothing more transparent than this. DBM made its official launch in the world of network marketing on June 1st, 2023. I remember it as the day when it felt like we were launching a shuttle into space. A project that then generated over 20 million in revenue in 2 years. This didn't just fall from the sky, so to speak, but we achieved it by working with a system, as I mentioned before, because as a business owner, it's all about the system. We will teach you this system and help you apply it just as we do ourselves. The great thing is that with this system, we can truly learn how to achieve the results we want. The DBM ecosystem is very simple to explain. We have one main branch, which is mining, so our core business is mining. We mine 3 coins, okay? Now, a company that wants to operate worldwide needs to have several locations. Just this past Saturday and Sunday, the new office in Rome was inaugurated. You can go and visit it anytime you like. So in Rome, we have our legal and physical headquarters. Then we have DBM Europe in Sofia, Bulgaria, DBM Global here in Dubai, where I live, DBM France in Paris, and DBM Swiss, which is very important because Lugano in particular is a hub for crypto, truly cutting edge, so we couldn't miss out. And DBM Asia in Astana, Kazakhstan, because we've moved all our machines there, and we're working with our new mining farm right there. Now, why are we talking about mining? Why are we talking about crypto? Simply because, first of all, among cryptocurrencies, there are currently the most high-performing assets in history. Then if we look at January 10th, 2024, the SEC approved the first spot ETF on Bitcoin, and this led people working in the stock market in the United States to better understand the Bitcoin market. Before, they saw it as something different, but now they've understood it, and in fact, they've fallen in love with it. Even now, the United States continues to pass new laws to support cryptocurrencies, and even for us Italians, because in the end, we also have to look at our own country. We know that banks always talk about crypto in a way that maybe tries to keep us away from it. Then we find out that on January 14th, 2025, Intesa Sanpaolo entered the crypto world by purchasing Bitcoin, and they are still buying it to this day. Right now, we have what I can honestly call the sexiest product and service on the market, because when people ask me, but what are you bringing into people's homes? I'm bringing money, okay? So simply put, I'm giving people what they need. I'm helping them make that extra 500 or 1,000 euros at the end of the month, or why not, maybe even more, turning it into a real business, okay? Now, there are three ways to get into the world of cryptocurrencies, at least the three most well-known methods. One is holding. So I buy cryptocurrencies, the ones that are available, and hope they increase in value. But if they crash, I panic, sell them, and lose money. That's usually how it goes. I've been working with cryptocurrency since 2015. It's been 10 years now. And I've seen plenty of people lose money because they were holding. It's not easy to hold on to coins for many years, trusting in them while they're just sitting there unused. Trading, on the other hand, you really need to be an expert for that. It's scientifically proven that 95% of people, in fact, it's written in every trading book that 95% of people lose money. In fact, they always say 95, 95, 95. So 95% of people in the first 95 days lose 95% of what they put into the broker. Okay, so does that mean it's impossible? No, it means it's very complex. If someone is a professional trader and does it for a living, that's different. But that's not what we're talking about today. We're not talking about spending hours and hours looking at charts, hours and hours in front of a computer. We're talking about someone who has their own life, does their own job, runs their own business, and what they want to do is mining. Why? Because I make a bank transfer to the company, and the company remotely turns on a machine for me, which they rent out to me, just like renting a car that we drive. And from the moment the machine is turned on, every day I receive my coins. If I want to withdraw the portion I've produced, on Friday, I click cash out, and the funds arrive exactly on the platform I choose, whether it's Binance, Crypto.com, our own platform, because we have one, or any platform you want to use, okay? So why isn't it worth doing mining on your own? Because mining is great, but why shouldn't I just do it myself at home? Aside from the fact that you should hear the noise it makes and the heat it gives off, I'm telling you, I went to see the company's mining farm. I'll explain it to you later, but it's unbelievable. It's something crazy. It's almost, I can say, it feels like being on a spaceship when you're inside a place like that, from the noises, from the heat it produces. But aside from that, the cost of energy is really high, and I do not even want to talk much about the cost of energy, because maybe you have solar panels, you have 1,000 different things, but that is not the point. They need to be cooled. The cost of the machines keeps going up because their performance has to increase. For example, our company now, since we work in a pool to help us earn more, has added 500 machines to the pool, so they have given us more computing power, and this is something that requires capital, it requires people to manage it, and so on and so forth. Then, another important thing is that regular maintenance needs to be done. So every day I want to see how many people are there with their little screwdrivers, checking the fans, checking this and that, because otherwise it doesn't produce enough, or the software, so you also need specialized IT skills. Now, what you see here, aside from the fact that he is our CVO, this is the video from when we were in Kazakhstan. I'm not going to play it for you now. I don't want you to lose focus on what we're explaining and looking at right now. But I'll tell you this. The person who invited you here has the video, and if they don't, they'll get it within 10 minutes, so it's not a problem. As soon as we finish the call, either ask them for it or they'll send it to you, okay? That way you can watch it calmly without us getting distracted right now. But just know that you'll get to see what we've experienced firsthand and more. The company, once or twice a year, actually takes us there. You can win the trip by doing our simple job to go to Kazakhstan and see our machines firsthand, okay? And I'm telling you this, I've been in network marketing since 1996, and I've been working with crypto since 2015, because at the end of 2014, this is the first company with total transparency like this. I can say that with confidence. They even moved the machines to Kazakhstan to make them easier for us to reach. So that's extremely important. Now, why is this important? Because DBM, simply put, DBM gives us an all-inclusive rental. So just like renting a car where I don't have to worry about insurance, tires, or oil, because I've leased a car long-term, it's the same thing here. I make a bank transfer to the company. They activate a long-term transfer for me. If it's Bitcoin, it's 36 months. And if it's Kaspa, it's 48 months. At the end of the 48 months or 36 or whatever the period is as specified in our contract, the machine simply turns off, or rather it actually stays on. It remains with the company. But for us, there's no obligation to make repurchases or anything like that. Or if I want to get more machines as time goes on and I want to add them, I can do so easily. I can activate other rental contracts, just like if I had a car to drive and I wanted another one, maybe for my son, just as an example, who just got his license, I could rent one for him too. My rental starts from the day I rented mine. His starts from the day he rented his. I really think it can't be explained any more simply than this. It's truly as basic as it gets, and it's for everyone. Because for me, the most important thing isn't to stand here and show that we're experts in this. You can see that for yourselves. But to make sure you fully understand our project 100%. Because when you understand it, you fall in love with it. And if you fall in love with it, we do it together. We create something interesting together. Now, how do you get started? There are several ways to get started. For example, a whole Bitcoin machine costs basically 16,900 euros, okay? And it gives you 1 month of DBU for free. What is DBU? As I mentioned before, we have a training platform, we have a free section, but we also have a paid section. The company, if we start with 1/8 of a machine, what does 1/8 of a machine mean? The company knows that some people can afford a whole machine, which could be 16,900 or even 25,900, okay? And other people right now maybe can't afford it, or maybe they want to try it out, or maybe. So what does the company say? The company splits it all up and says, you start with what you can afford, with what you want, with what you feel comfortable with. But know that from 1/8 of a machine and up, I'll also give you a month of free training on the platform, which is worth 180 euros, okay? We're not talking about peanuts here. So the company says, I'm so confident in my product that, you know what? I'll let you try it even before you decide to go for the training platform. So honestly, it doesn't get any better than this. We're really in good hands. And here's a fundamental question. Why do we mine these 3 coins? Why do we mine Bitcoin, Kaspa, and Bitcoin? Why did we choose these 3? First, because Bitcoin is digital gold. It's the ultimate security in the crypto world. If Bitcoin were to die, all the others would die too. I'm telling you this straight out, and I take full responsibility for what I'm saying, because that's how it is. Bitcoin is the first one ever created. It's the one that everyone actually allocates a part of their portfolio to, okay? But from it, Bitcoin was also born. It's like a branch of Bitcoin. In fact, it's called digital silver because it comes from Bitcoin's algorithm. The key thing is, I always say it's a bit like if Bitcoin were Adam, they took a rib and made Eve, okay? So they run in parallel. And another important thing, Kaspa, on the other hand, is considered digital titanium because Kaspa is an ultra-fast emerging technology. It's faster in transactions. If I need to make a transaction with Kaspa, it's faster than a credit card. So when stores realize how useful it is to have it, you'll see that they'll use it as a payment system also because it was created as a payment system. Now I've realized that I like the product, I like the service, I like the community, I like the company, I like the founders, I like what's happening, and I like having found a bridge that allows me to accumulate gold, silver, and digital titanium. The machine works while we do our traditional jobs. I don't need the slides anymore. I think we've understood each other. I believe it was simple and thorough. If I understood it, and I'm just a regular guy, I think anyone could understand it. Today you had an opportunity. Today someone invited you here because they think highly of you. I would never do business with someone I don't consider intelligent. I thank you for staying until the end, but you need to ask yourself a question. What will your life be like in 5 years when artificial intelligence has taken over 80% of existing jobs? The only question you need to ask yourself is, would it be a disaster for your life not to try? If it wouldn't be a disaster, try. We'll see each other on the team. We'll see each other in the groups. Write to the person who invited you, even just to ask them the questions you need to understand more. I say goodbye, and I'll see you soon on the most beautiful stages in the world. Bye.